discussion. He said, tell him. I said, you can't. All that's hustling on my mind is hustling. All that's hustling on my mind is hustling. All that's hustling on my mind is hustling. All that's hustling on my mind is hustling.
Money, cars, clothes, hoes, blows, drove. In the streets, man, that's all we know. Get money on the late nights till we all get low. The fans are riding in the daytime so we all get low. Yo, they trying to stop our show, stop us from copping home. Lock us down, ship us out, they really trying to stop our show. Go touch the pole, the baggage can't stop my road. 6 or 8, 7, 11, watch me knock it low. I lock it low like mop and glow. Clean the streets of profit mo. Cop your head and cop your mo. Trust it to the top we go. Homie, spark one from your heat. Carlito, J, murder, spark one on the beat. We the brand makers, touch these haters, plotting to take us. They can't stop my raiders, we feeling like the Lakers. They can't stop the vapors, we creeping in for the capers. The fans are watching, trying to lock us down with the papers. Here on, I see you later, till my hands is covering paper. I'm out on late nights, grinding, trying to cover a
Still here, homie, popping collars on you snitches. You test can't drink what we did to get these riches.
late night, so drugs, so dice, no slugs, no lights, no rub, no rights, no
Still here, homie, popping collars on you snitches. You test on when we paper folding homicide without a motive. Some pay 'em if you want 'em. We straight from the ghetto, the gutter, 911's rolling. Cigarillos, everybody blowing stolen. 85% of the time you kill 'em, you bound to know 'em. So be careful when you show 'em, play your role like Odom. Cause homies be tripping when you're pitching like Nolan. Got that one here to put a jigger, freeze 'em like a picture of my project. Good and homie, switching my position efficient. Trying to make $1 million while you dudes tripping. Cutting in the fees, too much soda while you mixing. Make you swim with the fishes. Or how you ripping current vicious. I'm grimy and malicious. Dudes trying to take my position. On the caddy, new edition. Gotta grind with intuition. Keep my secrets the deepest. Stack my paper, complete the mission. Yeah, homie, popping collars on you snitches. You cats can't drink what we did to get these riches.
late night, so drugs, so dice, no slugs, no lights, no rub, no rights, no
Still
fun.
here, homie, popping collars on you snitches. You cats can't drink what we did to get these riches.
Late night, so drugs, no dice, no slugs, no lights, no rub, no rights, no
We
fun.
last up in return. Please don't get us started on the low. There's a couple counts, we nearly departed.
What they weak hearted, we out scraping the market. Y'all ain't jump at a park at the top, is what we target.
Cause these dudes low, we hit 'em like purple rope. Hooked up with the cousins, spark one, they like, oh no.
We got the fofo, lay low, get dough, sell out, get more, dip in a 6-4.
From a sucker city thugs, hold like money and drugs. Searching for connection, plugs like George Jefferson, moving up, up.
What? We play the cut, you
All right, y'all. So hold on. Having a few tech. Hold on. Oh, yo, 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 yo. All right.
All that seems to be on my mind is hustling.
Yo, yo, yo. Can y'all hear me? The audio is like really not wanting to work today for some reason. Yo, yo, yo. All right. Let me check. Let me give it a second to catch up here. It's really not wanting to work for me. All right. I think it's working now. I don't know how long it's gonna work for, but it's working for now. So I'm gonna rock with it for right now. Man, it's started snowing here and everything stopped working. Anyway, what's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Hit that like button for me as y'all come through. Let me check the audio, make sure it's working one more time. Yeah, I think it's working for now. Man, it snowed here. It snowed like came out of nowhere. The temperature dropped all crazy. Almost got into an accident. Man, what is going on with this audio? Can y'all hear me? It's like it's showing that it's not on, but it's actually playing. Well, we're gonna rock with it, man. I don't know what's going on today. Today is just out of control. I guess I gotta get some new audio cords or whatever. All right, let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. So today I want to talk about Terence Crawford and his possible signing with Top Rank Boxing or Golden Boy Boxing. And I want to dive deeper into what's going on with Terence Crawford, his career, which direction should he be going in, what's going on with Spence. Got a lot of topics I want to cover today. And mainly, I just want to get everybody's opinion, everybody's take on where they feel like Crawford should go from here. Because we all know where Spence is going. Spence is about to fight Ugas. It's going to be a big money fight. Um, it's going to be sometime in early spring, is what I'm hearing. Unfortunately for Ugas, he don't come with a huge fan base, but I think he has enough of a fan base now to where this fight is going to sell. It's not going to be like a flop. I think they might do some numbers like what Pacquiao and Thurman did when they fight, somewhere around 500,000. But this is a great fight. So we know where Spence is going to go. Where does Spence go after that? You know, there's rumors that he's in that WBA, that WBA tournament, the Eliminator tournament, and he has to fight the winner of that tournament. So there's that for him. But where does Terence Crawford go? And you know, my thing is, I feel like Crawford should go in the direction of Josh Taylor. I've watched a few Caps and Full G videos. He thinks Crawford should be going in the direction of Keith Thurman. There's always, I think Boots Ennis is out there. You got a few guys over there at a Golden Boy that he could be matching up with. And you also have, PBC boxing. The Godfather of boxing, Al Haymon. Does Terence Crawford go sign with Al Haymon because Al Haymon has all the welterweights? The audio's good, so I'm gonna just roll with it, man. I definitely got tomorrow I gotta figure out what's going on with these cords. Probably just need to go get me a new cord for it. But does he go sign with Al Haymon? Is Al Haymon his best bet at this point? PBC boxing. I look at it like this. Manny Pacquiao went to PBC boxing chasing one thing, and that was the Floyd Mayweather fight. And he was promised, I think, behind the scenes, something along the line of that. Maybe if not a Floyd Mayweather fight, that after a certain amount of fights, he would get a shot at Errol Spence. He didn't get the Floyd Mayweather fight, but it took 2 fights for him to get a fight with Errol Spence. So if you base that situation off of, the Crawford situation, I don't know how much money he would command as far as a guarantee, but it would be some type of fight deal. He just wouldn't go straight to PBC and get a Errol Spence fight. He would have to fight one, maybe 2 guys, I think, before he fights Errol Spence. So I don't think going with PBC is his best bet, and I think that's the reason he hasn't already signed with PBC, and I think that's the reason he's kind of shopping himself around. If he has the money, it would be great to see him start his own promotional company. The problem with that is I don't know if he has the money to try to front his own promotional company. It costs a lot of money, upwards of hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes to put on fights. So I'm not sure how deep his pockets is. I'm not his financier, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have promoter type of money yet. And that's what he's chasing at the moment. So I don't think he's going to be putting on his own fight. So that leaves Terence Crawford with, 1, 2, 3 good choices, which would be you, or go sign with the Zone. Let me give it a second. Or go sign with the Zone. The stream popped out for a second. Or he can always go sign with the Zone Boxing. And man, I think the weather is affecting things just a little bit because I got the bit rate turned up really high, so I shouldn't be. But anyway, or he can go sign with the Zone Boxing and try to work something out over there with Eddie Hearn. I don't know how many good welterweights Eddie Hearn has, but Eddie Hearn does have a lot of money to play with on the back end. Maybe that'll help. Hold on, give me just a second, y'all.
Negative, nothing further. All that seems to be on my mind is All that seems to be on my mind is hustling. Negative, nothing further. All that seems to be on my mind is hustling. All that seems to be on my mind is hustling.
I just wanna touch a onion. She just want a couple hundred. I got mad and changed the subject. Then I got drunk and said fuck it. This is for my hustling niggas.
I don't know if that'll help it, but YouTube keeps saying I'm giving it too much. But I'm like, they want you to give it so much to stream, and then when I give it too much, it don't want to act right. So you can't make YouTube happy for that, man. It's just a headache, man, doing this. And what was that? So he could sign with the Zone, right? He could go sign with the Zone. Eddie Hearn has real deep pockets. Okay, they saying it's excellent now. We'll see how long that lasts. Eddie Hearn has real deep pockets, man, that he can play with, and that he can throw a lot of money at PBC to make fights. So my question, I think, right now would be for anybody who's in the chat. Who's in the chat right now, man? Let me know who's in the chat. Is Eddie Hearn a better negotiator than Oscar De La Hoya? If Terence Crawford decided to go sign with Eddie Hearn instead of Oscar De La Hoya, is De La Hoya or Eddie Hearn the better of the negotiators out of that two? Because if he goes and signs with PBC, he gets automatic fights because they got so many welterweights. But if he signs with Eddie Hearn or Golden Boy, then it's going to be a negotiating process to make his fights. He's going to have to negotiate back with PBC anyway. It's always going to be something. Oh, man, what's going on now? Okay, it's fine. It's always going to be something in the way of Crawford getting exactly what he wants. If he doesn't sign with PBC. So you guys let me know. Is it better for him to sign with PBC, Golden Boy, or the Zone? I think out of those three, I think the Golden Boy would be a great opportunity for him to go work with other fighters, go work with Oscar, and really work on his craft and be able to negotiate higher. I think the zone, it would be good because Eddie Hearn has a lot of money to play with, but I just don't see that working out because they don't have any in-house fights for Crawford to make. And I think if he goes with PBC, he's gonna kind of get tossed up to the Lions. You know, he might eventually get an Errol Spence fight, but it'll still be a year down the line, maybe a year and a half down the line, depending on what's going on with this WBA tournament. Which is crazy because I'm thinking like, where does the IBF come into play? When does he have to defend the IBF title? Because he has that IBF title as well and the WBC. When does he have to defend those titles and put those titles on the line? That's going to come up at some point. And he has mandatories in both of those divisions as well, which is what Caps and Full G, I think, has been hinting at for a while. So, the WBA is playing petty. I think they want all the attention. But, Spence does have other titles, so he has plenty of fights still that can be made other than Terence Crawford. But I feel like Terence Crawford, I think he should sign with Golden Boy. I really think he should sign with Golden Boy. We got 2 or 3 people in here right now. I'm going to go ahead and play something for you guys to listen to real fast. You guys tell me what you think. I want to talk about Terence Crawford specifically, man, and how he's kind of flip-floppy with what he does and what he says. And I want to play a clip that I found and see what you guys think about this clip real fast.
Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him. So how you gonna secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him?
Boy said he wasn't gonna never be at my fights, but now he at my fights. Well, you see what I did, compared to what he did. My thing is, who number 1 in the welterweight division now? Well, y'all already know who I want. I've been calling them out all day, you know what I mean? Maybe I'll go up to 154. Maybe if Spence get his tail out his butt, he'll fight me. You know what I mean? Whatever, you know what I mean? I will whatever.
All right, y'all. So, you hear what Crawford saying. He basically says he doesn't need Errol Spence. I don't need the Spence fight. I don't need him. I don't need him. But everybody knows you need you got to have that Spence fight. It's the biggest welterweight fight out there at the moment. There's no bigger. But you did hear him say one key thing, and I think it's very interesting that he said, I can always move up to 154 pounds and make a fight. Because I totally agree with him there. But I feel like if he moves up to 154 and takes a loss, it could be really bad for Crawford, and it could really it can mess his negotiation up with Spence even worse than what it already is. But he can go up there and make fights. Now, is he willing to drop the strap? Now, I think that's another thing. What's good with everybody who's coming into the chat so far? I appreciate the like. Drop me a comment, man. Let me know who's in here. But I think what you can kind of see, and what I've been hitting at for a while is maybe Spence, maybe that's his game plan. Maybe he's like, okay, maybe I can just freeze Crawford out for a while, and eventually he'll just drop that belt and go up to 154 pounds, and I can pick it up off of nobody, because he's gonna get the belt off of Ugas. That's a no brainer to me. I feel like Ugas can give him a good fight, but at the end of the day, I don't think he wins the fight. But I think that Terence Crawford, I don't know what he does after that. Does he decide to just wait Spence out? Does he go sign with another promotional company? Does he go solo? Does he go up and wait? If he goes up and wait to 154 pounds, then I think you gotta look more at the zone. I think the zone has a lot of fights for him to make over there. I don't know how many fighters PBC has at 154. Credible fighters. I think they got the Charlo brothers, and it might be 1 or 2 other. Or there's always a golden ticket out there for Terence Crawford. If he's willing to go up to 160 pounds and make a fight with Canelo. I don't think anybody's talking about that. We've heard people talk about him possibly making a fight with Errol Spence possibly making a fight with Canelo, but I don't think you've heard too many people say it's definitely got to be the snow, man. The snow is killing me today. Oh boy. But in what I was saying is in boxing at the moment, there's no bigger fight out there than Canelo. Canelo's the biggest money fight that you could possibly get, and that Terence Crawford could possibly get, or Errol Spence could possibly get, because they're not going to go past 160 pounds. I don't see them going up past 160 pounds. They could definitely go from 147 to 160 and possibly fight Canelo easily. I think if nothing else, if he can't get that Terence Crawford fight, and I mean that Errol Spence fight, then he can wait, maybe until the summertime, put on some weight, and always go fight Canelo. And I know the stream is real choppy today, and it's going in and out, so I don't know how many people I'm going to have on. It's cold outside, the weather's bad, it's snow everywhere, so I'm not surprised that the stream's going in and out, but I'm going to work with it for as long as I can. But, does anybody feel like that fight with Canelo could possibly be made for Crawford? If Spence is going to fight Ugas, and then he has to go fight in the WBA tournament, which cancels out all the rest of the year, basically, for Terence Crawford. So Crawford has, I think, one or two or three choices. And one of those choices would be I can stay independent for the rest of the year and go put on a fight with Canelo, or I can go sign with a promotional company and try to get some upfront money and see what the best outcome would be. And I think the two best options for him is PBC or Golden Boy. But I think if he stays solo for the rest of the year, if he knows, hey, I'm not going to get that Spence fight, it's no doubt I'm going to get that Spence fight in 2022, then why not stay independent and go challenge Canelo and get a big old bag of money? Because, the rest of the year is already up for grabs anyway. You don't have anybody. You can either go challenge the young guns. Josh Taylor would be a big money fight. Or you can go challenge, Boots or somebody else like that. Or you can say, hey, I'll take the rest of the year off, wait until like August, and put on, 13 pounds, and I want to fight Canelo. I can't get this fight with Spence. I don't know how long the WB, what does he got? He got the WBO, would give him to where he doesn't have to defend his title, because 15 pounds, I don't know how fast he can put on 15 pounds to get up to 160. But if it only took him about 6 months to put on, 13, 14 pounds, and I'm pretty sure he already walks around at like 150 something. Anyway, he's probably dropping a little bit of weight to make 147. So maybe about 10 pounds. He could easily go make a Canelo fight, man. I think that's a possibility for him. If Spence is just going to freeze him out anyway. The biggest fight you can get right now, and the thing about that is Terence Crawford's not as tied into 147 as Spence is. Spence has 2 belts, and he could possibly have 3 belts. It's actually 4, but the Ring Magazine belt don't mean nothing to nobody. But he'll have 4 belts if he beats Ugas. Well, 3 belts if he beats Ugas, and then there's the belt that 4 belts if he beats Ugas, and then Terence Crawford has the 5th belt. But nobody cares about the Ring Magazine belt. So I think Spence is a little more tied into 147 pounds at the moment. Terence Crawford has a little bit of room for growth because he doesn't have as many titles he has to defend. Spence kind of has to stay at 147 to defend all those titles. So no matter whether he beats Ugas or not, he can't just go jump up to 154. That's really out of the picture for him, because he's automatically going to have to either defend the IBF title or the WBC title. So I don't think 154 is even an option for Spence at the moment. But for Crawford, I think it works well in his hand to try to go to 154, try to go to 160, because you don't have those shackles on. You only got to defend one belt. You just defended your belt. So you got all the rest of this year to say, hey, if I can secure a fight with a Charlo, which would be a huge money fight for me, or if I can secure a fight with Canelo, that would be a huge money fight for me. And then I can come back and defend my title in early 2022, which is what I'm telling y'all anyway. It's going to happen. I mean, early 2023. You know, Spence Crawford's not going to happen until 2023, more than likely. Spence is going to fight Ugas in March. And then his next fight will be the winner of the WBA, supposedly, tournament, which I don't think is going to be the winner of the WBA tournament, because the IBF and the WBC have been waiting for over a year for Spence to defend those titles. So I think he's going to have to defend one of those titles next. You're not going to see him in that WBA tournament. My personal opinion. So I think there's a lot of options at the moment for Terence Crawford. There's a lot of options for Errol Spence, but all Errol Spence's options are going to be at 147 pounds. I don't think his options move beyond 147 pounds for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. In 2024, you might see Errol Spence move out of 147. From 2022 to 2023, he's got to be at 147 to defend those titles. And I don't know who we got in the chat, but what do y'all think? Who y'all think Crawford should, if he moves to 154, who should he fight? If he or should he say, you know, forget 154, I want Canelo. I'd rather have a Canelo fight. I'm willing to take off the whole year at 147 to get a Canelo fight. And if he did that without a promoter, think about how much money Terence Crawford would make off of that. All right, so I'm going to give y'all a second to see if anybody else jumps into the stream. And give y'all a second to think about that. See if anybody jumps in the chat. Clear my throat up real fast, and I'll be right back.
Negative, nothing further.
All that seems to be on my mind is All that seems to be on my mind is hustling.
Negative, nothing further.
All that seems to be on my mind is hustling. All that seems to be on my mind is hustling. I just wanna touch a onion. She just want a couple hundred. I got mad and changed the subject. Then I got drunk and said fuck it. This is for my hustling niggas. This is for my hustling bitches. Pull up with that Aquafina. Yellow bone, her name is Tina. Tina like the hit casinos. Tina could snort a whole kilo. Tina like to fight and argue. Bye bye Tina, bitch, who are you? Met a dark skin chick named Anna. Anna like that marijuana. Anna was from love.
All right, y'all. So we're back. All right, I'm going to jump into the next segment that I want to talk about. So we heard from Terence Crawford earlier. And if you didn't hear that part, we got about 4 people in here right now. If you didn't hear that part, I'll play that for you real fast in case you missed it.
Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him. So how you going to secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him?
He always said he wasn't going to never be at my fights, but now he at my fights. Well, you see what I did, you know, compared to what he did. My thing is, who number 1 in the welterweight division now? Well, you already know who I want. I've been calling them out all day. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll go up to 154. Maybe if Spence get his tail out his butt, he'll fight me. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? I'm with whatever.
All right, you heard what he said. He said Bob Arum couldn't secure him the Spence fight when he was with him. How could Bob Arum get him the Spence fight now that he's not with him? So I think that means that Terence Crawford is actually probably still negotiating terms with Bob Arum, but also filling out all the other promotional companies at the same time, and perhaps thinking of maybe starting his own or staying independent for a while and just, trying to get that money up. But then on the other hand, you got Errol Spence Jr. What does Errol Spence Jr. have to say in response to what Terence Crawford has to say? And I'm going to play y'all a quick clip, and we can check out and see what Errol Spence has to say in response to that.
If he say he's not worried about me, I don't know why he doing what he was doing here. I probably wouldn't go to none of his fights, so I'm not worried about Terence Crawford. We're going to move on in the summertime and see who I fight, so we'll see. I got to talk to my manager at Haymon, and we'll go from there. If he say he's not worried about me, I don't know why he doing what he was doing here. I probably wouldn't go to none of his fights, so I'm not worried about Terence Crawford. We're going to move on in the summertime and see who I fight, so we'll see. I got to talk to my manager at Haymon, and we'll go from there.
All right, y'all. So, it's funny what Errol Spence has to say, man. He says that I would never go to one of his fights, so I don't know why he's at one of my fights. But in the previous clip you saw of Crawford and his last fight with Porter, Spence was actually at Terence Crawford's fight. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny that he kind of got caught up in a little bit of what do you call it? What do they call it? A sarcastic situation. He kind of caught himself up in something right there. It made himself look a little bit goofy, but it is what it is. I think. Listen, I think everything's in Spence's hands at the moment. When Spence wants to make the fight's going to be made. And it's up to Terence Crawford to either put himself in a better position or, move up in weight and make a splash up a little further up in weight and go get some money further up in weight. Kind of wait Errol Spence out by fighting at 154, perhaps fighting Canelo, maybe even Triple G. Triple G's always out there. And I think maybe a Crawford Triple G fight would be a big money fight. Fighting Triple G at 154 pounds would be a really big fight for Terence Crawford and a real test. It would put him up against a bigger guy. Spence is a bigger guy. Triple G is just kind of like a bigger version of Spence. So I think that would be a good test for Crawford. And it would be a huge bag of money that he can go get in the meantime while waiting for Spence to figure out what because he has all these mandatory situations that he has to deal with. So until 2023, there's definitely probably no possibility of those two guys getting it on. But speaking of Triple G and Golden Boy, y'all check out this clip real fast.
I'm a promoter that is willing to make any fight happen just for the sake of the sport and for the fans. On the other hand, PBC is a whole different story. Like, I don't control PBC. They have all the welterweights in the world, okay? And they still can't fight each other. So imagine PBC working with a different promoter. It's just difficult. I'm a promoter that is willing to make any fight happen just for the sake of the sport and for the fans. On the other hand, PBC is a whole different story. Like, I don't control PBC. They have all the welterweights in the world, okay? And they still can't fight each other. So imagine PBC working with a different promoter. It's just difficult. I'm a promoter that is willing to make any fight happen just for the sake of the sport and for the fans. On the other hand, PBC is a whole different story. Like, I don't control PBC. They have all the welterweights in the world, okay? And they still can't fight each other. So imagine PBC working with a different promoter. It's just difficult. I'm a promoter that is willing to make any fight happen just for the sake of the sport and for the fans. On the other hand, PBC is a whole different story. Like, I don't control PBC. They have all the welterweights in the world, okay? And they still can't fight each other. So imagine PBC working with a different promoter. It's just difficult.
All right, y'all. And I let that play a couple of times, and I wanted to, make sure everybody got a chance to hear what he had to say. But I totally agree with him. I feel like, if people are willing to work with you, why can't you just make the fight? And they have so many welterweights that, I guess they really don't have to work with another promotional company because they have so many fights to be made in-house. It's kind of like the Bob Arum situation on steroids, where Bob Arum would only fight his good fighters versus his lower ranked fighters. But what it don't make for great fights. It don't make for historical fights when one promotional company has the majority of the fighters, another one has some really good fighters, but they're unwilling to work with each other. But the one thing I did take from what Oscar said was, he's willing to work with anybody. So I think if Terence Crawford did decide to go over there and work with Golden Boy, I think Oscar's in position to get him some good fights and get him on TV and have his fights hosted really well and promote it really well to where his pay-per-views will start selling better. And sorry, I skipped again. And hosting his fights really well and promoting them to where his pay-per-views are going to start selling better and he can pick up a better fan base. But it's going to take for Terence Crawford to, otherwise it's not going to end well for him. So, here we go again. Let me give it a little second, y'all, to catch up. Hopefully all this snow will be gone tomorrow. I don't have to deal with all this. But, I feel like if he went and worked with Golden Boy, that would get him some really good top-notch fights. And I think Oscar would really be willing to reach across the board to Al Haymon and Mayweather and try to make the best fight for him, and try to get the best purse for him too as well, because if his thing is money, I think Oscar De La Hoya, being a former fighter, knows all about. And he was one of the richest fighters. Oscar De La Hoya was the biggest pay-per-view star until Floyd Mayweather came along. So he knows how to promote a fighter the correct way, So I think it would be a good fit for Terence Crawford. Man, my bad, y'all. All right, y'all. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me give it a second here. See if it'll catch up with itself. It's frustrating when the internet don't want to work with you. All right, y'all. What's good, Ryan Lamb? What's good? Heard Mayweather fighting another YouTuber. Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. YouTube, I don't know what's going on with YouTube today.
Negative, okay, nothing further.
All that seems to be on my mind is All that seems to be on my mind is hustling.
Negative, okay, nothing further.
All that seems to be on my mind is hustling. All that seems to be on my mind is hustling. I just wanna touch a onion. She just want a couple hundred. I got mad and changed the subject. Then I got drunk and said fuck it. This is for my hustling niggas. This This is for my hustling bitches. Pull up with that Aquafina. Yellow bone, her name is Tina. Tina like the hit casinos. Tina could snort a whole kilo.
No, it's killing the internet. So I think I'm about to cut it short up for today and finish this one up tomorrow once all the snow kind of melts off. Let me see if it caught back up. I'll go for a little while longer. If it cuts out again, you know, I'm gonna have to end it. I'm not sure why I'm not sure why the snow kind of affects it. But I guess it's freezing the lines up or something. I don't know what's going on. But the connection has been horrible today. But I was trying to shout out Ryan Lamb said he heard Mayweather's fighting another YouTuber. Yeah, what I was gonna say is I heard the guy's like a teenager. He's like, I don't understand what's going on with Mayweather and why he keeps doing it. I mean, I get it. Go get the money if somebody's gonna pay you for it. He's like an Arabian billionaire YouTuber or something. So I mean, if somebody gonna pay you to fight him, why not? You know, it's easy money. You're not gonna lose. Go get your money. But is it good for boxing? I don't think it's good for boxing. Maybe in a way it is good for boxing because it's kind of introducing him to a new audience over there on the other side of the world. But it would be better if he was fighting an actual fighter, you know. And even if it's an exhibition, it would be better for him to fight an actual fighter. I think this stuff just kind of muddies up the sport, man. Just makes the sport look bad. It makes it look like a joke to where you got... How would I do against Mayweather, huh? Are we talking about a sanctioned fight? Are we talking about an exhibition? Because if it's an exhibition, I think I try to body slam him. If it's an exhibition, I don't get knocked out. But if it's an actual sanctioned fight, I don't know what I would do. Here we go again. It says it's excellent, but then it cuts out. Then it says it's excellent, but then it cuts out again. Man, it sucks. It sucks. Our internet sucks. I gotta deal with this crappy internet, man. I'm not sure why it's doing this. You would think if I'm feeding it more than what it wants, it would be like stable or something, but it's like seriously not. Maybe it's because I updated my program. Maybe I need to reset. I might need to reset the computer to reset the program to get it to run correctly. Because I forgot I did update it and I never reset the computer before I got on. So I'm gonna try to finish this one out, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be better after I resync everything up. I think that's probably what the problem is. But definitely, I had one more clip I wanted to play before I get out of here. Ryan Lamb, you goofy, man. Me versus Mayweather. I'm gonna try to put him in a submission hole. Give me my money. I fought him, so give me my money. I definitely ain't winning that one. Now what was I talking about? What was I forgot. You made me lose my train of thought. I don't think what he's doing is good for the sport. I think it introduces new fans, but the fans it brings to the sport are not real boxing fans. They just want to see a spectacle. So if it's not a spectacle going on, they're not really gonna respect what's going on in the ring. I even want to watch it or support it. So it's good in a way. It's a double-edged sword what Mayweather's doing. I wanted to play for y'all before I get out of here. If the stream catches back up to itself. That's if the stream wants to work correctly, but it seems to not want to. Man, it's definitely sucks to have the stream acting like this. But maybe I try to fix some things on the back end tomorrow. Maybe it'll work a little bit better. But I'm gonna play this last clip, man. Try to play this last clip for y'all real fast before it goes out again.
Garcia says he wants Manny Pacquiao.
I would actually make that fight end of this year or early first quarter of next year. That's the $1 million question. If somebody asks me, well, will you fight Triple G? I go, yeah, I think his style is like easy for me. Well, would he do a rematch with Manny Pacquiao? I go, are you crazy?
Puntahan ko na yung asawa ko. Dito kami sa bahay. Inaya niya ako mag-training kanina. Yan niya, tinan niyo. Kondisyon na itong asawa ko. Ayan.
Hey, I don't know if y'all caught what Oscar said right there. But this is actually some footage from about a year ago. I think it was right before the Pacquiao. It's a few months back. It's before the Pacquiao Ugas fight. He was saying that he could still secure a fight with Manny Pacquiao and Ryan Garcia for this year, like 2022. So I don't know if he was serious about that. And then the interviewer asked him, well, who would you want to fight? He said, well, I will fight Gennady Golovkin. But somebody asked me if I'd be willing to rematch Manny Pacquiao. And y'all heard his answer, so I wonder if that's possible. If that's a possible fight, maybe they can get some type of exhibition going on. But that would be interesting. And I think I'm going to go ahead and end the third, man, because the stream's going to go. It's about to lose out again. So I'll catch y'all tomorrow, man. I get everything working correctly. Y'all can watch the replay. Try to skip through the parts that we're skipping and to enjoy the other stuff that we discussed. And I'll definitely be back tomorrow, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through, man.
Negative, nothing further. Seems to be on my mind is all that seems to be on my mind is hustling. Negative, nothing further. All that seems to be on my mind is hustling. All that seems to be on my mind is hustling.
I just wanna touch her onion, sweet touch her onion. She just wanna cup.